Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Unfortunately today, due to technical difficulties and my internet provider kind of dropping the ball on me, I am not able to do this live, so I'm going to be doing it by myself. Now this will be the first BTS album that I haven't done with a live audience, so it's going to be a little strange, a little interesting to do. I'm going to do my best to try and still make this as entertaining and as fun as possible, while at the same time giving the proper dedication and respect that these albums do deserve. But just know that it is a little strange doing this by myself without a live audience. But I do a lot of reactions by myself, but usually it's just for one song and not an album, especially an album that has kind of a concept behind it. Now this album does. Love Yourself Tear, or Tear, from what I've read from the Dream Team, seems to be kind of a continuation off of Love Yourself Hurt. My understanding is that this album in itself is more about coming to terms with loss and learning to actually love yourself, and might be a little bit darker than what I heard on Hurt. I guess we're gonna find out. And that's pretty much all the context I have about this one. Let me go over here and just check something out real quick. Yeah, this one is about more embodying the boy's face with parting, so kind of the heartbreak, whereas the first one was more about embracing the heart-fluttering new feelings that you get with, well, new love. Now, I got a little bit of experience with love. I'm married. I tricked a girl into marrying me, and now she's contractually obligated to love me. The government's involved in everything. But I've had my fair share of heartbreak, just like I'm sure you have as well, like we all have. I feel like love kind of goes hand in hand with heartbreak, unfortunately. You need to learn to love. These things don't kind of happen naturally. And part of the process of learning to love is learning to love yourself. Now, that's the part that comes really difficult to most people. At least to me. One thing I don't often share openly is some of my struggles that I've shared with depression and anxiety and things like that. It's made it very difficult for me to take the time to really love myself, and it's something I still struggle with to this day. Just like many millions of other people, I'm sure like you do as well. I'm not trying to like make you feel bad about me. We all share this thing. It's difficult to love yourself, whether you have these things or not, okay? I think anybody, whether you're completely sane or a guy like me, I think we all have issues trying to truly love ourselves. But it is important to get to that core belief of actually loving yourself and being truthful with yourself about that, because it's not until then that you can truly appreciate somebody else and actually love them at their core. I truly believe this. BTS at this point are kind of on top of the world. 5 years behind them. They've got massive single after massive single, album after album, massive world tours, selling out arenas. Like, they are a household name at this point. What I'm trying to get at is the guys could be talking about anything. They could be pushing any sort of agenda that they wanted. They could be just selling us, toothpaste all the time and just getting a giant check and then just checking out. That's not what the guys do. The guys do hold themselves accountable, and they do hold each other's selves accountable. They put their blood, sweat, and tears into these things. I know, sorry, no pun intended. And that's something to admire. And what I'm trying to get at here is that they're trying to push these messages that truly better you as a human being forward. They're not trying to sell us something. They're not trying to take your money, even though maybe they've taken all your money from everything else. That's not what they're trying to do. Their main objective here is to try and help you become a better person, help you actually love yourself. And to me, that is incredibly wholesome, endearing, and respectable. I love to see stuff like this. So what do you say we get right on into it? We pull my thing up over here. Beautiful. I got the song right here. And the first song we have is Love Yourself, the Tear Singularity comeback trailer. I'm going to keep messing this up the entire recording here. Is it Tear or Tear? I don't know. Oh, that's kind of creepy. So soulful.
이 얼어붙은 헛소에 또 금이
love V's voice with the Rode, which is that little the melody you hear in the background. It's a Rode synth. It's just like so jazzy and so smooth. This is kind of eerie, especially with the masks. And I know what they're trying to do from a little bit of information that I have here. They're talking about the masks that we put on to please ourselves and other people. And it's kind of almost giving me flashbacks to Suga's first mixtape when he talked about that in some of his music, about the masks that he needs to wear, the different kinds of people that he needs to be in front of different kinds of people. This is a cool video so far, though. It's cool to see V start off an album as well. Oh, and it just ends on the second. Okay. Let's talk about that for a minute. I think the video is kind of creepy. If I'm not gonna lie here, especially this little coat rack type thing. There's actually a hand in there, or maybe his hand is through there and like touching himself somehow. It's almost like he's dancing with himself. The music itself is super minimal. Yeah, it's a very, very simple beat. It's a very simple, even chord progression. V is almost seductive and creepy at the same time. I don't know. I don't want to say creepy. I want to say more. The video is creepy. V is being kind of like softly, seductively sad, if that makes any kind of sense. And that's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the atmosphere itself. Now, from the lyrics that I'm looking at here, from what he's talking about, it seems like he's talking about, wearing those masks, being a different person for somebody else. And I feel like that's something a lot of us do often, especially when we're in a new relationship. I'm gonna pretend to be this person so you'll like me, and I think we all do that in one way or another. If I'm gonna go out, and when I first met my wife and I'm trying to court her or whatever, like, I'm not going to come out and be like my crazy self right off the bat, because I don't want to scare her away. I want to try to convince her to go on another date with me. But I feel like a lot of us just always are constantly doing that, putting on a different mask to try to please somebody else, to try to make it, more enjoyable for somebody else. And what happens in the process of doing that is eventually, if you do it long enough, you kind of lose yourself. You don't know if your voice is worth it. You don't know if that's you and your own reflection underneath the ice. And I think that's what he's kind of trying to say here. As far as the video goes, I think this is really kind of cool. Only V is in this video. They're backup dancers in the background. I was looking to see if it was the guys kind of doing like a little cameo type thing, but no, it wasn't them. But this is a really interesting, creepy video, in my opinion, especially with the way the masks kind of come out and everything. It's very Phantom of the Opera-esque kind of. I really do enjoy the music for the simplicity of what it is, because V has such a soulful, kind of deep, baritone voice. You know, he's not a true baritone, but like he's got a nice, deep, seductive voice. Feels weird calling it seductive, but like he does. He has like that kind of style to him. And it's beautiful, it's haunting, it's seductive, and it feels honestly real. I actually really enjoyed the video. I like the idea of dancing with yourself with a coat rack there. I feel like that has something to do with something. I like the background dancers. Yeah, this is pretty cool all around. In fact, you know what? Let's just go through and look at this video without the sound for 1 sec. And I want to just kind of, yeah, that's what I think that's his own arm in there. I thought it was like a CGI or something at first. Yeah, they're just backup dancers over there. It seems like the room is shifting and moving. Very like jaded, jagged movements. See, this is what I was talking about when he's saying like, I don't have a voice. I think that's what he's talking about, is kind of losing yourself. Yeah. I buried my voice for you. Is it my voice? I think that's what he's talking about. I think he's talking about changing himself to fit somebody else's idea of what you should be. That's just the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this. But what I can do is I can go back over here and just read this. So this is the information I have from the Dream Team. It says the first V intro single on the album, the track talks about hiding yourself behind masks without showing any emotions that show our real selves. At the end starts questioning if it was all worth it. Yeah, I kind of get that. I definitely can kind of get that. And I think it's something that we all do and it's something we can all resonate with. As far as like an intro into the album, it's interesting to see this kind of approach to it, especially since I know this is going to be kind of a heavier album just from the comments I've been reading and what people have been kind of telling me. I know people are very excited for this one, but it is a bit on the darker side. It's kind of oddly and strangely beautiful in a weird way. But sometimes sad music does that to me. You guys ever just listen to a sad song and it just kind of like, it almost just feels like, I know this is sad, I know this is dark, but there's just something strangely or oddly beautiful about it. That's the kind of vibe I get from that. All right, so that is the intro track, Singularity. I guess the next one is Fake Love. So I'll be back with another video for that very shortly. If not, it'll be already in this playlist or whatever, but it'll be up very, very shortly. I hope you enjoyed.